This is the story of the Ohio Bigfoot girl. Her name was Fanny Mills, and she was born in Pulborough, Sussex in England in 1860. To George Mills and Sarah Ansell, the family lived at Maze Hill, where her father worked as a grocer. The family emigrated to America in June 1871. They arrived in New York and made their way to Ohio, where they settled in Perkins. The 1880 census shows her father was working as a dairyman. One thing that stands out in the record is that the fact it says deformed feet next to Fanny's name. She began to display symptoms of Milroy's disease, a condition which primarily affects women, causing swelling in the lower limbs. In 1886 she married William Brown. In 1899, the Hartlepool Northern Daily Mail wrote, "The big-footed woman, one of the most interesting cases of the rise of a freak from poverty to affluence, is that of Fanny Mills, the big-footed woman who was discovered by Frank Stone, the Boston showman. He heard of her through the postmaster at Sandusky, Ohio, and after a little correspondence determined to go out and see if she was all that she was represented to be. The farm on which she was living with her parents was found to be the most miserable place imaginable. The house and building out of repair, the ground poor, and everything indicating hard struggle for bare existence. The girl herself was half-clothed and fearfully thin and worn-looking. Her work was to milk the cows and then carry the milk for the distance of 5 miles to houses along the road. She carried 2 large pails, slung on yoke across her shoulders, and with her huge feet the daily toll was so severe that, coupled with miserable food, it had worn her almost to a skeleton. Mr. Stone took her to Boston on a salary of £20 a week, and billed her the big-footed woman from Chicago. She created great sensation, and was a drawing card for a very long time. When she arrived, she had on her feet a pair of boots which showed how primitive her life was. They were made throughout of the tops of farmers' heavy cowhide boots, and had been manufactured at home, cutting out a combined bootlegs a piece large enough for the sole, and then sewing more bootlegs over from side to side until the foot was covered. A shoe dealer took these boots to place in the window as an advertisement, and in return made for her 2 of the finest pairs that he could turn out. Fanny's salary was steadily increased as it became evident what drawing card she was, and when she left, Mr. Stone was to fill an engagement at £100 a week. She was simple and careful in her manner of living, and in fact her living expenses were just about paid by what she made through the sale of her pictures. She went back to Sandusky as soon as she made enough money, and bought the finest farm in that part of the country, and is the entire support of her parents. Other accounts say she was known primarily as the Ohio Bigfoot girl, and she toured the East Coast with her sister-in-law Mary Brown, who assisted her wherever she went. She toured between 1885 and 1892, and could sometimes earn $150 a week, the equivalent of $4,000 today. Fanny passed away on the 3rd of May, 1899, aged 39. So rest in peace, Fanny. You will be remembered.